procedures. So weekends, midnights, busy, very happy, and very active. So making a big loss, and people may say, you may thought that I am not in public because I'm so embarrassed to make such a huge loss financially. However, actually, I am working very hard, very busy. So now it's the time to shifting to offense mode. That's the time that I am feeling right now. So what I am interested in most and what I am working on most is AI revolution. So what is mankind? On the planet, that mankind is the most intelligent animal on Earth from my definition. And that is changing, completely changed, which is singularity. So mankind has the most intelligence on Earth, but within coming 10 years or so, I believe mankind is going to be exceeded by computer or AI. That's singularity. Vision Fund for the AI investments, and Softbank to become the vision capitalist for AI, talked about the strategy. But with all Softbank Group, we would like to be the leading positions for the AI revolutions. In the past few months, variety of the leaders of the country having a common interest right now. Of course, Ukraine situation or the sad news being heard, but one another common word is AI among those leaders, premiers of the countries or governments. ChatGPT now showing how the AI is going to be playing in this sector. Up until now, even you ask something to AI, but it was like a robotic type of language, they come back to you. Because we have created Peppa about 10 years ago, although that we worked so hard on Peppa, but because AI level was not enough, that's why that the dialogue communication was not smoothly taken place. If you have a preset language, a preset dialogue, then Peppa can make a very good communication. But it was a kind of robotic if it's a natural dialogue. And now Sam Altman leading OpenAI for ChatGPT, and now that 100 million people around the world is using in a very short period. GPT 3.5 to GPT-4 that's evolving also. And now it's not calling ChatGPT anymore. It's called GPT-4 now. So now we are at the phase of GPT-4, not only chat, not only dialogue on text base, but this is available, that this AI is having a mouth, ears, eyes. So it's like a multimodal modeling. So not only the text exchange, but they speak, they can hear, they can see. And that is actually done by AI so that they can address any status or issue. That's the level we are seeing now. Last week, we had a presentation meeting for generative AI utilization contest, which was taking place internally. What kind of way that you can use AI for our work or for our life? And we had a competition amongst our employees. And we will have this contest every month over a year. And the first place prize total price is 25 million Japanese yen, and the first prize is going to be 10 million yen. So up to 30 million yen that you'll be able to obtain if you win over the competition. So we have a 1 week application period, and 52,000 application has been submitted. 52,000. So only from employees of SoftBank Group overall regarding generative AI. And the 52,000 items has been gathered together in 10 days. I think this is world record. And employees altogether score each other's idea. And those who competed, others, became the finalist for 10 ideas. And today, actually, we will be announcing first prize to the 10th prize at the employees conference meeting after this general meeting of shareholders, and of which the first prize winner is going to obtain a 10 million prize. And the third person was actually so surprising, and this person's scored by every employees, and they got the third point. But actually, I thought that this is so great, so that this person is going to be winning the first prize instead of third. So I am using my rights or my superpower voting rights to this third prize, originally the third prize winner, to become the first prize winner. It was so great. But all the finalists from the first to 11th, I thought that can be commercialized immediately. Then they are so passionate that they would like to utilize for the business immediately as well. And I was only able to see from the first to 11th prize, but there are more and more ideas underneath of that. So I would like to spend some time to see what other ideas were there for this time contest. But now the group overall, or some company is actually prohibiting using ChatGPT for employees, but I doubt it. Can they catch up with the time? Can they catch up the trend? That's something I worried about. And we actually, as a group, that are working on generative AI. And if you see the big picture, actually, this has been, the computer has been called as a calculator instead of computer. These days, people don't call it calculator, but in the beginning, very beginning of the computing, Bacchus became auto calculator, and that was a kind of computer I was working on. But that computer became even more powerful in gathering so much of the data memorized in computer. So variety of the data is now available on internet, and that is going to be memorized by the computer. So from calculator to memorizer, and such a huge data memorized and stored in this computer. And from such a variety of data, you can pick up and search what you want to know, what you like to check, so that the Yahoo and Google start the search engine and start such business in utilizing computer. And this time GPT is actually even next step level up. So using computer from search engine to inference system, inference machine. So myself is actually using GPT every day. Any idea that I come up with, I check with GPT, how do you think? So GPT and myself is making a dialogue and debating each other, doing the brainstorming each other. It's like a kind of exchanging the wisdoms each other. And recently, I made a question to GPT, which was a very difficult agenda, and the GPT came back to me and say, that's not realistic. To do so, to make that happen, huge number of computing power is required, so that the resource-wise, it is almost impossible. That was the answer from GPT for my question. And I was not convinced. So that I said, if we do this way and that way and utilize this and that, then we should be able to make that happen. So that was my response back to GPT, and GPT came back and said, that's a great idea. However, there are such and such issues, such and such difficulties and challenges. So they came back again. So I said, that's not right. We have such a solution and this solution so that you can solve those issues and challenges. Then you'll be able to overcome such challenges as well. Then GPT came back and said, that's a great idea. That's interesting. However, still, there are additional challenges there. So I came back to them once again. For those issues, I have such solution. Then the very end, after we exchanging such opinions each other for several times, and in the very end, GPT said, this is the great idea that's very realistic. So GPT praised me and made me happy. That was like a 4 a.m. in the morning. So from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning, I started exchanging ideas with GPT, and actually I compete them. I kind of were able to convince GPT. So as an inference capability-wise, AI is now having a tremendous capability, tremendous power. So utilizing such an inference capability, latest GPT-4, GPT 3.5 was not able to pass the college exam, but a few months later, GPT-4 was available, and now this year actually the GPT has been upgraded from 3.5 to 4, and in US legal bar exam, the top 10% of the was ChatGPT. Medical license exam also GPT-4 made a correct answer of the 87%. Reading, math, biology, statistics, psychology, most of those exams were apparently passed by GPT-4 if GPT-4 takes such exam. So my actually assumption is that all the any of the tests that GPT will be able to become a top 1% and should be the number one amongst all the subjects, amongst all the people who take such exam. I think it's just a matter of time. The time will come for sure. I'm so convinced about that. Inference capabilities and the computing has a tremendous capability there, tremendous power there. In addition to that, that's going to make it more evolution and from inference to creativity. So artistic or art was actually the area for humankind. Even the inference was the only for humankind. Many people thought that way. Things that have been decided or been written can be picked up and searched by computer. And computer is just robots, and robots have a limitation there. That's many people's idea and understanding. However, now, even the computer now do the inference capability, and that goes into the creativity world, artistic world, creating videos, composing lyrics or music. So now GPT is writing a poem or drawing the pictures. So the other day, I was reading when I was a child, that I was reading the comic of the Atom Boy, and I was not sure what was the last episode of Atom Boy, and I asked GPT what was a final episode of Atom Boy, and GPT came back to me and told me the final episode. And actually, I asked GPT to write the continuous story or continuous episode after the final episode, and GPT start writing about the stories about Atom Boy, and then I ask him that to make it continue and keep continuing and keep making scenarios, and the GPT keep writing the next story, next episode. And I tried the other one, and I ask about the old story of Japan, and ask GPT to, instead of finishing the story, but continue the story, and GPT can do that. This is not written anywhere. Nobody wrote about it, or nobody created about it, but actually computer is creating as if it is a humankind. Even the drawing, robot. So want ChatGPT to draw like Picasso with the fighting bulls. Of course, but it should be using robots instead of bull. In the Picasso's age, there was no robot available, so that the robot cannot do the fighting bull type of the play. But actually, GPT draw like Picasso and draw about the robots fighting each other. And that creativity is already available now, that AI can do such an and address such an request. Just earlier, I said in all subjects, ChatGPT or AI can be the top one in exams. One person cannot learn every subject. But you also, not only learning, but also you need a wisdom to infer something. So memory and search is something based on your wisdom, your knowledge, but the infer requires wisdom. So only one person, one single person cannot learn all the knowledge and utilizing those to infer. And I don't believe that's available for the single person. In AI, if you let the AI compete against the world genius, in several years, maybe genius may win over AI. But what computer are great about is that there is no limitation there. They can grow furthermore. They don't stop learning. They don't stop accumulating wisdoms. And my expectation is that all these systems of all the people around the world, and some of that, of 10,000 times of some of all the people's wisdom can be available by AI in some years. And that's not too far away. It can be within tens of years. So your child or your grandchild, when they become adulthood, when they become your age, I think this is going to be reality. That's the society they will be living. This is not a science fiction. Actually, your kids, your grandkids, when they grow up to your age, to our age, I believe that they will be living such a reality where the computer exceeding 10,000 times more smarter than the sum of the humans kinds of all the world. And that, actually, if we calculate with ARM's roadmap, that's something that I am so convinced. It's not unrealistic thing. ARM chip design, ARM capability, looking at the roadmap for the development, I think that's something available in near future. And when we start seeing such a society, AI will be a super intelligence. So with super intelligence, we'll be connected to entire society. And in addition, there was said that the AI capability has a limitation. Even some intelligence people talk about that. But that's because this person, this intelligent person, has limitation about his or her wisdom or knowledge. Why they said that was because AI is programmed by human. As long as human programming AI, then AI cannot be smarter than human. That's their logic. But actually, this person's logic is already not available because current GPT already not programmed by human being. It's already not human that programming a current latest GPT. The answer was not programmed by human, but actually neural engine inference capability is providing by learning so much of the data, picking up the data, learn and infer, and give you the answer. And that is going to be 10,000 times more. Then it's not the level where that the people is programming or anything like that. It's totally beyond such a capability. So ARM chip is going to exceed 1 trillion units sometime in the future. So 8 billion in humankind around the world. And the ARM shipments come to the 1 trillion units sometime in the future is because as IoT, any signals or any light bulbs, sensors, in every aspect, ARM chip is going to be built in and utilized. So 1 trillion IoT device is going to gather so much data real time and come to this super intelligence. Then computer itself start evolving by itself.
AI evolves by themselves and AI multiplies by themselves. They design robots by themselves, and the robots start producing robots, manufacturing robots. So robots with a super brain. It's not programmed by the human. They learn by themselves with their own wisdom and intelligence. They will multiply. In every shape and type, they don't necessarily have 2 arms, 2 legs. They may have 100 arms, 100 legs. They may fly, they may swim. So every shape, every size of robots will emerge. And in the world of AI, which evolves by themselves, which multiplies by themselves, when you say the word of intelligence, some people may call it virtual world. Virtual world has a limit because smart robots come with super intelligence. Then people say Almighty God, and that word of Almighty AI will come. So when you talk about evolution speed, they may say that there are limitations, computer and AI. That's wrong. Speed is tremendous. Beyond mankind, a new living creature was born. Most of my creations, inventions are related to AI. So when you think of something that does not exist, they are called inventions. If there are things that are already there, they are not inventions. inventions are something that are not here, but with some level of reality. So just in front of you, just a matter of time, all super almighty AI era is out there. AI will solve problems that mankind cannot. These almighty machines should be able to solve problems even though mankind are not able to. For example, comfortable transportation without accidents, a long, healthy life, society without stoppage from natural disasters. People don't have to suffer unnecessarily. People don't have to work hard unnecessarily. People don't have to cry unnecessarily. Education, work, things that people want, food, roof over your head at very cheap cost, without sweating, without doing dangerous work. People can get them. Animals fetch fruits. Like that, robots can do things for ourselves. Almost eternal energy, almost nothing at cost. People can get things. And something that protect us from natural disasters. So that kind of world should come soon. Accelerating evolution of AI should help making people happy, helping people to live more comfortably, happily, and I believe in that positively. And that speed should be accelerated first, and ARM can play the central role. ARM-based chip has been shipped 258 billion cumulatively. Like I said earlier, looking at this graph, a chart, just one bar, each bar exceeds a previous bar. Look at this curve. Very, very beautiful curve. And this trend continues to 1 trillion, 4 times bigger than this. Looking at this curve, you can naturally imagine this level should be as big as 4 times. In fact, the speed is accelerated. When we acquired ARM, what they did first was to increase the number of engineers. That's why they spent money and the cost to get necessary human resources. And back then, people said that Masa wasted money. But now ARM is ready for exponential growth, which I believe to happen. Chipset for mobiles. ARM is absolute number one, but that's not the end. In every computing world, CPU, GPU, together to become AI chip, which should be mounted every AI device. And the center of the information revolution is going to be definitely AI with a super intelligence. In the world of computers, you may imagine it as just a calculator, just a computer. You have to change your mindset. Not only just knowledge, but the world is more like intelligent world, not just a knowledge world. And that intelligent world should help us to live better life, happier life. I believe in that from the bottom of my heart. So AI should be for every person to live a happy life. So we are ready to shift to offense mode. In the past few years, we focused on being defense. We in fact have built cash on hand at 5 trillion yen. 3 years ago, we didn't have a lot of cash on hand, but because we have been in defense mode, we have built our cash on hand to the level of 5 trillion. So now we are ready for shifting to offense mode, and I am excited about that. Last but not the least, ARM, which is our core company, and CEO of ARM, we would like to welcome him as a new board member, subject to your approval. And the information revolution is for making people happy. Again, your continued support will be very much appreciated in our journey. Thank you very much.
And that is the end of my presentation. Then we would like to move on to the Q&A session. With regard to how it is going to proceed, once again, the MC is going to give you the explanation. Let me explain how the Q&A will proceed. First, we'll take questions received prior to the meeting via the internet. Then we will take questions